What I'm going to describe now are the 7 ways to provide high quality care while you're working at our organisation. More than anything, medicine needs this. It needs up-to-date knowledge in diagnosing, in procedures, and all the other evidence-based stuff you learnt at medical school and in your career so far. We need genuine, heartfelt, like you would want your mother treated, care and attention. It's simply why we are here. We need to look after each other. We need one another for debriefing, for learning, and for sense-making of the really hard stuff that we're a part of every day. Don't underestimate the role that you may play in your colleagues' lives or the role that they can have in supporting yours. This is Grant Turner, one of our consultant anaesthetists. He's taking part in an obstetric simulation in one of the operating theatres. Grant and I are not best mates, but he knows that if he calls me to Theatre 5 and says quietly that one of the surgeons is running into difficulty, I'll be there straight away. I know that if I've got fetal distress in room 7 on the birth suite, that he will move heaven and earth to find me an operating theatre. These are the types of trusting relationships we need in our workplace. Culture is all those little unwritten rules about how people treat each other. Brené Brown talks about the scarcity culture, about when you open a newspaper or turn on the TV, the 2 things that come to mind are whose fault is it and what should I be afraid of? This is a very negative culture that's developed within society and within organisations. It's important that we treat each other with respect, that we assume the best of people, even when we might have evidence of the contrary. Compassion gives you the vision to see through somebody's behaviour to the truth behind it. Often it's grounded in an unconscious fear that they're not worthy. Smile and say good morning to strangers. You can make a difference to the culture by how we act every day. Healthcare is increasingly complex and our patients, as you know, have lots of medical problems. The system we have in healthcare was not designed to cope with this from the ground up. Organ-based specialties and subspecialties compound that problem. You can help patients navigate their way through this system by doing what's best for each one of them as individuals. Unfortunately, often the system doesn't make this easy. We are all busy and very quickly the focus can shift from patient care to workload management. It has to. But what is your patient experience so far? What needs do they have and what are their priorities? Cross-team and interdisciplinary communication is hugely important, as is discharge planning and keeping everybody updated about the plan. When you're unsure, contemplate carefully and don't hesitate to ask those around you. You're going to face many difficult decisions, but none of us is expected to know it all. There are no stupid questions, and there's a whole network of people here to help support your practice and development. Have you come across the Dunning-Kruger effect? And it's really important how you incorporate this into your medical practice. This is a well-proven human cognitive bias. Confidence often precedes competence. Clearly that's important if you work in medicine because there are certain decisions you'll be making that do require a certain level of knowledge. You don't want to send the patient home with a myocardial infarction. You might be very sure that all the tests so far have excluded that, but when you know about Dunning-Kruger and you're junior in your career, then you'll run that by a senior just to be sure, even though you feel confident. And if we label the curve, you will see that after the peaks and the troughs, there is a slope of enlightenment and there's light at the end of the tunnel. Every person you admire in medicine failed their way to success. None of us is immune, but we are inspired and we know that all things worthwhile take persistence and determination. There is always someone around to help, and there is systems full of resilience, so failures rarely equate to disaster. But it still hurts, and we're here to help you get used to it. You've got a long life ahead, and you're going to learn lots of medicine and lots of technical skills. Don't forget your personal development, working on yourself, and growing constantly. Remember the LEADS framework that I spoke about. Leading self and how you engage others are 2 of the most important domains. Read lots of non-medical books, learn about metacognition, cognitive biases, and the mental models of people who are different to you. So welcome to Townsville Hospital. We're excited to have you here and we look forward to welcoming you to our family.